Welcome to Kranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Kranky, and this is the Kranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Kranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Kranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Kranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Kranky Live Sports Talk. As you can see my forehead, I'm sweating profusely. It's a bit hot in here. My fan is on, but my AC doesn't get installed until tomorrow, so I can't wait, actually. Thanks for joining, those of you who have been here. I think Gunner's boss left me a message saying my audience, I want to use the word fan, be very careful with that word. My audience may be less today because of what transpired in Jamaica, which I don't disagree with. When I look at my demographics, I think half or maybe a 40% Jamaica, a little bit more from the US, and Canada, and the rest is distributed to other places. So that's understandable, and it's a difficult time for a lot of people in Jamaica. It's my understanding. I'm trying to get news from Jamaica, but when I go to some of the Jamaica channels, I'm not seeing this stuff being carried. I'm seeing other stuff. It's still showing me lottery and all that stuff. So Kingston must be doing well. You know, some people in Kingston think Jamaica is Kingston. And all the radio station, major television station probably located there. So that's a little bit disappointing. I was hoping that, TVJ and CVM and they will carry more of this. They do carry some, but not enough for my liking. So if you are out there and you have some intelligence information, they think it's warranted to be broadcasted, we should do so, actually. And Minzy, if you're hearing me, you know what? I'm going to send Minzy the link, because I know he's in Jamaica. Maybe he can come on and brief us as to what's happening in this area. I know I just spoke to my nephew in Kingston, and he was fine, but we haven't been able to get in touch with relatives and siblings or on the western part of the island. So not sure if things are out there. I've been calling phones all day, no responses. So I'm hoping everybody's all right, but I assume that there's a problem with the phone service there. I would assume that's the problem, because he's in Jamaica. He hadn't been able to get in touch with individuals there also. And I did speak to another nephew who was there on vacation in St. and he was okay, but he was telling me that there are trees on the ground everywhere. So not the best situation, but let's hope. I know there were a few deaths, I think I heard, actually, but let's hope those are just the ones that we heard about. It will be the total amount, and we don't have any of that difficult news, because it's a very difficult time for families, whether it's loss of loved ones. You can't equate property with loved ones, but we hope everyone is okay, actually, and things are okay. See, Vinny's saying that cell towers are out. Yeah, and maybe that's why, because the phone just keeps ringing, normal ring, but no answer, actually. So maybe in the western part of the island, that's the challenge. Because I know I did speak to, let's say, my nephew in Kingston, and he didn't have. He said they have no water and they have no electricity, but he was at the Mona campus, where I guess, or the university campus where he is at UTech, where they have. I guess that is there. They do have electricity there and maybe water, but it said that the water's been turned off. And where he is, there's no electricity, so he had to go someplace else to charge his phone. So interesting times and difficult times for a lot of people in Jamaica. So let's hope that it gets better, frankly. And hopefully I can get Minzy on the program to give us a underground update as to what's happening. I did want to talk about a few things. Yesterday we were going to discuss. So a couple of things, people. I got some texts from individuals saying, am I clickbaiting? And the reason for that is because yesterday the thumbnail that I put up indicated that I was going to talk about the Keshane Thompson, Noah Lyles upcoming event at the Olympics. And because we spoke so much about the Reggae Boyz coach situation, which we talk about today because it's news, and we're going to milk it until, YouTubers are, we're going to milk it until it can't be milked anymore. Milk it till it dries, they say. But I think there's stuff to be talked about there. But we won't speak as much about it today, much less. So I didn't get to talk about that. So I actually just flipped that thumbnail and expand that because I think there are other people in the race we should talk about. And I'm only going to talk about the 100 meters coming up for the Olympics, not for the women, not for the other events, 400. Because, we run 1, 2, and 4, and then we go home, as far as I'm concerned. We now do field events. Bless up Warren Webster. We do field events, but we just do 1, 2, and 4, and then we go home. We don't do 8. We don't do 15. We have people who run them, but we don't expect medals. And we do the 4x1s. And maybe this year we'll do the mixed relay with a good team because we're not in the 4x4 for men. So we have no excuse not to put a good mixed relay team out there to run and maybe hopefully do well. So it wasn't a clickbait. Whoever put that information and say it was a clickbait. It wasn't a clickbait. It was, I just didn't get to it. And it was good because I could postpone it today and have something to talk about today. This is my last show for the week. And then I also had someone who came back and said my intro was too long. I think the intro I have here is about a minute, I think. My outro is about 3 minutes. My intro is a minute. And I did do some research on this before I did it. They said the normal intro is between 10 and 30 seconds. I think StreamYard has a 30-second intro. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. I want to do my thing. So if you think it's too long, I don't want to be mean, but I must say too bad. I hate to tell you that. That's my intro. I'm going to stick with it. So I would suggest we just get over it. If you don't want to hear my intro, then turn it down. And then when it's finished, you tune into the channel. That's all I'll say. But I appreciate the comment. And I take on the comment under advisement. But for that one, I did think about it before I did it. So I decided to do my thing. So today I won't talk about COPA today. We talked about COPA somewhat yesterday. And today we have the game between Argentina and Ecuador at 9 p.m. Should be on. Let me just make sure I was going to say Fox 1 off the top of my head, but let me just make sure it is Fox 1. It is the Fox network. So in the US, that's the major Fox network, which is a free channel. It's not a pay channel. Normally it may be on Fox Sports 1, which is a pay channel. I think Jamaica, they carried on CVM. Let me just make sure it's CVM again. No, it's csport.tv in Jamaica this time. So normally Jamaica would carry some of the COPA on CVM. I assume csport.tv. Hopefully it's up because when the streaming service, it may not be that way, actually. So, and if you're in Canada, it's normally on TSN, actually. And I will just check Canada now because most of the people that are on this channel are from Jamaica, the US, or Canada. So let me just check for Canada and see where the game is being showed. It's a lot of TSN station, by the way. TSN Plus, TSN 4, TSN 5, something called RDS, CTV2, RDS app. A lot of places in Canada carrying. So if you want to watch a game. Ernest, no, the Jamaican Ernest, Barry can't watch me. They may watch me. I hope you not watch for nobody. You know, see them thing they're not Ernest. I hope you not watch for nobody. I did hear of somebody who may have gotten washed away in Arnett Gardens, which didn't make any sense to me. I've been around those neighborhoods. I don't know how you get washed away at Arnett Gardens, but that's a different story. Maybe someone was outside playing because some people didn't take this thing serious. They're outside when it's real windy and rain is pouring when you should be trying to get under secure cover. So that's not the best thing, actually. So I'm gonna talk about the Euro today, not the COPA that much, and then I'm gonna talk about Hallgrimsson, and then I'm gonna talk about the Olympics 100 meters for men's. Bless up R&R. I don't know R&R. I heard from two nephews. I have a brother down there. I have another niece and another nephew. So I haven't heard from them. So I've been trying to call, no response. So we'll see what happens. They live in a really where my brother lives is on a hill in a sense, but the water always just pour off it. So I'm always less concerned about where he lives because it's a really well situated place whereby it doesn't get flooded. If anybody gonna flood, it's those below him, not on where he is, and it's not a hill where his home can fall off the hill. So I'm assuming he's secure, and I'm trying to remember if there was a lot of trees in the yard. I don't. There are some surrounding the yard, but let's hope the tree didn't fall on the house. Let's hope not. But I'm sure somebody would have found a way to. Well, I would assume somebody found a way to contact me. But if they have no phones, if they have no internet, and someone mentioned earlier that the cell towers may be down, then it becomes difficult. Bless up, Duckland. Duckland, I haven't seen you for a while. Actually, Duckland, bless up. And people, don't let me start ask. Me used to call it begging, but me stop beg. Let me ask for me normally ask for. Me say 3 times I'll do it. Once they begin the program, once they begin the program, and once at the end of the program. Can be tired for it. So me not mention it anyway. I don't know what I'm supposed to do when I come in. And by the way, I did put in that only subscribers can put in message. So whoever come in and a subscriber and don't like it, you don't know me or telling us. So nobody make up enough face because me now go address it. It is what it is. Get over it. But anyway, so let's talk to the Euros because I've been listening to some of the English station, and boy, I'm tell you, on a Jamaican things on the critical. I don't know nothing about being critical. Nothing, seriously, nothing but being critical. I mean, we're soft. I tell you the truth, we're soft. When it comes to criticizing people, I say we're soft. Seriously, I've been to Jamaica a long time, so I must be old term I use, but we're not as critical as we think we are. They are brutal, like brutal. Nobody's spared actually. So when we talk about Jamaica, some people say, "Well, we won our first 2 World Cup qualifiers, so aren't we happy? What's the big deal? We won, isn't that a good thing?" And some others would say, "Well, it's about the quality of the performance and the possible sustainability of the performance, meaning how well did you play, and given the projection going forward based on how you play, do we see this continuing, right?" And we were poor in our first World Cup qualifiers, and luckily, frankly, it starts mid next year, so the new coach coming will have time to put his stamp on the team. England has reached the quarterfinals, and you'd think they got knocked out in the first game, the way the pundits are. Whatever station you want to listen to, whether it's BBC, whether it's TNT, whether it's Talk Sports, whether it's the newspapers, whether it's YouTube, whatever you want to listen to in the UK, they have been brutal in terms of their view of the team. Now, to be frank, they haven't played that well, right? In fact, they have been poor. Given the supposed pedigree of their players, they've been poor, and the comments and the criticism has been brutal. In fact, people are now reflecting, should they criticize as much because it's gone so bad, they're trying to pull some of it back? Too late. So end of the day, it's going to be interesting to see how it all works out. So if I pull this up, you can see here, tell me if you can see this. Spain is going to play Germany tomorrow at 12. And then Portugal play France at 3. And these should be 2 very good games, by the way. I'm looking forward to the Spain-Germany game at 12. I remember I have something to do tomorrow. I have to find a way to change it. I don't want to miss this game. I don't want to miss this game because it should be a really good game. This may be the 2 best teams in the tournament, frankly. Spain has been brilliant. Dynamic wingers, technical midfielders. I think Spain's challenge has always been their center forward and sometimes the middle of their defense. But if you can't get the ball, then you can't pressure them, can you? And that's the big thing for them, which is they hear me preaching this, which is if I have the ball, you can't pressure me. Now, the only way you're probably going to look to beat Spain is it's interesting how Germany plays because Germany's midfield is very good. That's where their strength is. They have some wingers like Sane, but I'm not sure he's been playing up to where he's been before. So it should be a very interesting game. I will predict Spain coming out on top here because I believe it's just their wingers, Yamal and Williams are such dynamic players. And then the midfielders can get on the ball with enough frequency to go at their man, which is what you need, right? Sometimes wingers are starved for service. So if you get me the ball frequently, I can do something with it. And I think that would be the case against Germany. I'm not sure Germany is that great um, in their left and right back play. So should be a good game. And then France played Portugal, both who have not been at their best, actually. Blessing Drew Ross. They've not been at their best, frankly. I think France has scored 3 goals. I mentioned this yesterday, 1 penalty and 2 own goal. For a team that's supposed to have this potent strike force, it's amazing that they've been so poor in front of goal. Or it's not even in front of goal, but they've taken a lot of shots. But it's just that they're not creating those clear-cut chances, actually, which makes it interesting. And then we have Netherlands and Turkey, 2 teams who have been very good, actually, of late. And sometimes it's based on the opponent. Romania made the Netherlands look good, frankly. I think Turkey was very good against Austria, even though, Austria does a good job of possessing the ball. But I think Turkey was very good. So in a Portugal-France game, I'm going to pick France just because it's a safe pick. Even though I think Portugal has a good team. But so people tell me, do you think Ronaldo should be playing or on the bench? I mean, they have 2 forwards, including Jota, who are much more dynamic to me. And yet Martinez is afraid to bench Ronaldo. Ronaldo was I know some of you love him. He's a has-been. Sorry. You're playing in Saudi Arabia for a reason. He's a has-been. Brilliant footballer. One of the better ones. Not the best Ronaldo, by the way. He's the second best Ronaldo. For those of you who have been watching football of late, you think he walks on water. He's the second best Ronaldo. Trust me. Very, very good player, but he should be on the bench. Duckland, you think he's playing really well? He should be on the bench, Duckland. He should be on the bench. They have better players in their team. I think it was Ramos and Jota who should be playing over him. They'd be much more dynamic, create much more opportunities. All Ronaldo does nowadays is shoot and head the ball. He can't go by anybody. He's not going by people like he used to. His time has come. Yeah, I mean, he's a lot of people's favorite player. You probably have the most people on Instagram and all the social media, but you should go do social media now. Football, Father Time waits for no one. How many goals has he scored, Duckland? You say performance. They go into their 4 goal. How many goals has he scored, Duckland? You tell me. Since you're looking at performance, he's a forward. They have played 4 games, going to the 5th game. I can't recall. Tell me how many goals he scored. Yes, I do agree with that, Warren. And I think, Warren, I think the Euros, to me, has been much more impressive than Copa America. First of all, I think the physicality of Copa America take away from the game itself in terms of the spectacle of the spectator. It's been too overly physical for most of the games that I see with skilled players. Skilled players should play skilled football. And the refs have been very lenient in this region. So I don't think I've enjoyed the Copa America as much as I've enjoyed the Euro. But you guys can tell me. You have a different opinion. I think the Copa is too physical. I watched the U.S. play Uruguay, and I thought they were in a wrestling match or a boxing match, frankly. It was just brutal to me. It reminded me of when I grew up playing football. That's how we used to play football, right? If the ball passed, the man doesn't pass. Or you take the man ball, the sidewalk, the water can, everything goes on the sideline. That's how I see South American football being played. And they're not getting yellow cards a lot of times when they make such physical plays. So that's interesting. But I expect France to win. I expect the Netherlands to win. And then England, Switzerland. Obviously, I have to pick England, even though they're not playing well. I think they'll play their best game, but they got lucky last game. And I don't think they'll get lucky this time. I think they'll play better. It's been discussed that he may go to a 3-5-2 because Goey is out with 2 yellow cards. So he's going to bring in the kid from Aston Villa, Konza, and play 3 at the back, which is going to be interesting. So he may play either 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. I think probably more 3-4-3. He should play Gordon and Palm out wide and maybe even do Saka at wingback, and Saka may not like it. Because I think Frank De Palma is more dynamic than Saka is, to be honest. Saka doesn't run by people. He sets you up. You need people to run by people and to create more width. Yeah, broadman security, but he has his supporters, so you can't pressure him too much. They love him. He does have his supporters. So we can understand why people think he should play, but I think his time has come. and pass. So that's for the Euro. I want to talk about the Euro more. As I said, tomorrow we have 2 games, and then Saturday we have 2 games. And those games should be good. Now, I'll say this. I was listening to Jason Guna TV today, and he played the coach's goodbye, which I also have. And I thought I should play because I did, when I was listening to him, the coach, as Jason did on this program, I did take down a number of things. And here's my view, people. Here's my view. So I draw my own conclusion, right? As to why he left. So, before I say that, okay, people, tell me why you think the coach left. Let me hear you guys' perspective before I put mine out there. And if you want me to play the recording, tell me no, because it was played already on different programs. I don't want to duplicate or repeat this. So tell me what your view is. Tell me, 1, you want me to play it, and 2, why you think the coach left? Because I just wrote down what I think it was. But I did write it down when I first listened to it. No, I mean, he's an icon, right? And when you're an icon, people are going to respect you. Doesn't mean they want you to start. They're too afraid to say it. The coach is afraid of him. By the way, the last coach they had benched him, didn't he? Well, his 2 last coaches before he went to Saudi Arabia, the Portugal coach benched him, and then my man at Man U benched him, right? Ten Hag benched him. And he can't take benching, by the way, people. And that's why they don't bench him, because he creates a stink. He'll lose his mind if he gets benched. So if you're going to bench him, you might as well not have him in your squad at all, because I think he'd be very disruptive. He's not a team player. I don't care what anybody says. Not. He may love his country. He may want to play. He's about Ronaldo. He's always been about Ronaldo, and he'll always be about Ronaldo. Yes, because Messi is creating. Of course, Messi should be starting. Messi's Messi. Messi always create opportunities for others and score goals. Messi's play, well, look, Messi doesn't tackle anybody, but he really ever does anyway. But when he gets the ball, he does something with it. Look at his stats in the MLS, and look at his stats when he played for Argentina, and look how he plays for Argentina. When he gets the ball, he plays. Right? Nobody's saying Messi shouldn't play. A lot of people are saying the coach is afraid of Ronaldo and he should not play, especially when he's not contributing offensively. And you hear me give Antonio a hard time about his lack of goals, 1 in 8, Claudine. And it's the same thing, which is you got to produce. If you're not going to contribute on defense, which Ronaldo doesn't, by the way, that's why Portugal probably can't press well, then you have to contribute on offense. Got to contribute on offense. You can't have it all your ways, right? So I don't see where Ronaldo contributes on defense. He doesn't. People, think about it. He doesn't score goals. At least he hasn't in this competition, except for by the way, he missed a penalty in regular time. He got bailed up by his goalkeeper, even though he scored in the penalty. Doesn't play defense, doesn't score goals, doesn't guide by people, doesn't run the channel. What the hell does he do? Uh-oh, Miguel is calling me. I haven't even started yet. I'm going to take it. Now I'm going to take callers early. Miguel, you're lucky. I don't know how I'm going to take callers early, but I'm going to take the call, Miguel. What do you have to say?
Oh, I thought that's what you wanted when you're asking about the poetry. So
No. You know what? It's a good point you make. Do it that way. Let's do it that way. Your perspective as to why the coach left. I was asking people to type it in the thing, but no, they can call into. You're fine. It's fine.
Okay. I said it on management program the other day. I called him about a month ago and asked him. I said to management, watching the press conferences, the coach seemed to have lost his drive, his spike. You don't hear that level of enthusiasm in his voice anymore. And I asked him, the coach doesn't seem very comfortable. And he was like, there's a lot of pressure and he's preparing for games or whatever. So it didn't come as a surprise to me when he left, because I said it to Marissa about a month ago. And as I said to him also, that I don't think it's 1 or 2 things. I think it is a mixture of the environment, everything. I think he partially wanted to make a U-turn when he came to Jamaica. When he came, I looked at the condition of the fields, and it's a tropical country and all these things. I think a part of him left maybe a small percentage, but part of him left from then. And then as time goes by, I think it grew bigger and bigger. His desire to leave got bigger and bigger based on the toxicity of the environment. And this it even include the reggae girls. And sometimes when, as people say, when you observe your friends, you don't necessarily observe how they treat our other person. You don't observe how they treat you, how they treat other people also. And I think the whole thing from reggae girls to the election to Leon Bailey situation, I think it's a mixture of things. I mean, his performance maybe to me is even the lesser part of it. So I just think that the whole environment caused some frustration, and he decided to move on. You there, Kranky?
So are you saying it's the environment?
I think so.
Okay.
hmm Yeah, man. So I think it's a mix. I would have left. It's a very toxic environment. You know what I mean? Lack of professionalism, lack of things that don't necessarily need a lot of cash injection to take care of. So it shows a level of carelessness, so to speak. You understand me?
So when we say environment, we talking the JFF?
Yeah, primarily the management of the program, everything. I think the whole management of the program, how they handle issues, how they deal with situations. You understand me? And it caused him some degree of embarrassment whenever he tries to come in, and all these things. You understand me? So I think it's a mixture of things that caused him to decide that, listen, it's time for me to go because it's not getting better.
Right. So someone in the chat, Sean Blake, is saying assumptions, caller, and lots of it. Who knows?
Yeah, but none of us are mind readers. I don't know if Sean is a psychic or something to that effect. I mean, he can do his thing. I'm speaking from observation, and of course, we are all assuming. Did he come out and lay out everything clearly and specifically as to why? And even if he does, to some degree, he's gonna be very professional. You understand? It's just like if you lost a job or if you leave a job, we go to the next interview. Why did you leave this job? You're not gonna say, "Oh well, one day the boss and I had an argument." You're not gonna do that. You say, "Well, I think over time I decided to that have contributed and want to move forward." You'll be as professional as possible. You understand me?
Right.
So I mean, I think that's the angle that he's taking it from. But in reality, I assume that it is a lot deeper than what he's saying.
Yeah.
My two cents.
So do you guys? So everyone, did you realize that the coach told you why he leave? Did you realize in that press conference the coach actually told you why he left? Did you even realize that?
Yeah, but as I said though,
because Sean says assumption, and when I listened to the press conference, there was no assumption. He told you why he left. That's how I'm asking people. They understand why he left.
Yeah, well, as I said, I think he's being professional, brother. I think it's
he's been overly professional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot.
In fact, he took that to the extreme. He took that to the extreme, to be honest. Yeah.
If you didn't think otherwise, you wouldn't have been asking this question because it would have been a rhetorical question. If he was as explicit as you are satisfied with the information that they provided, but obviously you are not fully satisfied, which is why you're asking this question. So I'm just giving you my perspective on it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, Miguel. Appreciate it.
All right.
So thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Miguel said the environment. So I'm gonna read a couple of things for you people. I thought you guys would put some things in chat because you guys type a lot, but I didn't see whether you want me to play the tape or not. I didn't see whether you want us to provide me a view as to why he left, because I was looking for you guys to come back with answers. So I did take on some notes, which I find interesting. So if you listen to the coach, it's like he was interviewing for his next job while talking about his current job, right? He praised almost everything. He told you how he made things better since he got here, whether it's the trainer, the physical trainer, whether it's the media, when Simon was hired, a bunch of things he did, which improved the overall environment, the same environment he's leading, by the way, which improved that environment significantly. So he talked you through what he did. Well, no, I actually want me to play the tape. I'm Warren. If you don't say yes, then I'm not going to play it because that means you don't want to hear it. That's what I'm assuming. If you guys want to hear me play the tape, say yes. If you want me to play the tape, then I'm just going to talk based on my interpretation, since I spent time and effort going through it and taking down notes. And I have my notes here I'm reading. So if only Warren want to play the tape, me just talk my notes. So don't tell me, play the tape, I just talk to my notes. More for hear from them. Because I was going to run the show in on me. So Warren says, anybody else? Warren, at 52 people in chat now. You alone can. And by the way, 52 people, 33 likes. People me say this already, because me say me on the talk 3 times when I'm coming up. I'll say this again. And Jason Guna was saying on his program today how much time he spent listening to my discussion with Speed, listening to Coach Tape, preparing stuff. You know how much time it take for them thing, yeah? I'm going to say this all the time. I don't know, I stingy up on a like thing. Well, I don't want the YouTuber to provide no meaningful content. Because I don't want to come and mize up on a like thing. I don't want nobody to see the video and watch the video. I don't mize up on a like thing. But I don't want people to go to work and then go to good content. You can't have it both ways, people. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. I know it's a life work. You have to give to get. And you want to not get nothing. Because all the people ask them to subscribe, like, and share. I don't want to do that. And it's free too. Nobody asks no membership dues or no super chat. And it's free. You may ask no super chat, even though me monetize now. Me not ask you it's free and I still no one give. It's amazing how that works. But anyway, let me play the the audio. Hopefully, and tell me if you can hear it.
And of course, the way forward. June was a lot of games. First 2 wins in the World Cup preliminaries. I would say pretty much secured our spot in the next round with these 2 wins. And then this preparation for COPA America, an important one for Jamaica. I think we learned a lot on it. Maybe not thinking back now after the loss against Venezuela, maybe not 100% ready, but a lot to learn from this experience. Good opponents, intensive games, the first 2 games down to margins, and you need to fight for your margins. And this will be a good experience for the players, for the coaching staff, and for the federation. And before we open the floor for questions, Coach, just...
I don't know what happened here, people. This thing just stopped. I don't know what happened. Hold up. Jesus. I re-recorded this.
Down as the national team coach for Jamaica. That was decided prior to the tournament. I had a good conversation with the president prior to the tournament and told him that was my decision to do this. So there's nothing taken because of results or something. This was pre-decided. Maybe I would say in my mind a few months back. So this is all done in good relationship with the federation, and we depart on a good note. This project is I think improving, and it's always a delicate project, the Reggae Boyz, and we need to protect that going forward. So all on good notes, and I wish Jamaica all the best in the future, and I will be the first guy up in the stand when Jamaica qualifies for the World Cup. I will wear my Jamaica shirt and be the first guy the players will see in US when the World Cup starts in 2026.
I'm sure over the last 2 years or so, there have sort of been individuals here that helped you get settled on the ground, and staff, players. I'm sure it's been a great experience.
Yeah, I acknowledge that I had a good meeting with the players, explaining yesterday my decision and the reason for it. And at the same time, I just wanted people to realize how many have improved in their jobs. So we've had world-class fitness coaches, Sebastian Box right now, Pepe Lazaro, to help Lamar grow as a fitness coach. We've had a world-class analyst in Jose Costa, a Portuguese analyst, to help Kyle do his job better. We've had Darren Glenister from West Ham as a physio to help our medical team to grow. Eddie Gardner, Freddie Butler have been with us, sharing their experience as players, as coaches at high level. And more.
I apologize, people. I repositioned this and it's somehow messing up. Let me try to do this. Somehow it's cut. I put it on my messaging. This is sorry.
Jamaica, all the best in
hold up. Let me just keep running.
Players, I'm sure it's been a great experience.
Yeah, I've acknowledged that I had a good meeting with the players, explaining.
Hold up, people. I'm trying to get back to where we were before.
Lazaro to help Lamar grow as a fitness coach. We've had a world-class analyst in Jose Costa, a Portuguese analyst, to help Kyle do his job better. We've had Darren Glenister from West Ham as a physio to help our medical team to grow. Eddie Gardner, Freddie Butler have been with us, sharing their experience as players, as coaches at high level. And more have helped us as a staff to grow. And I think this improvement stays at the federation, stays in the project, and the project is growing. And that's internal growth from the press officer, Simon, from the medical team, from the team manager, etc. This is just something that I think has been silent. The improvement has been silent, so I just wanted to express how much people have improved as professionals around this team, and that is the way forward.
All right, folks, you can now ask questions. Do you have coach programs?
Coach, so you talked a little bit about the relationship between you and the JFF. Do you want to go into a little bit more detail from your end as to how it got to this point? Because it's a project, like you said, and the major objective of the project was to qualify for the World Cup, and we're just at sort of the start of that process. So you want to talk a little bit, expand a little bit further on that?
Let's first talk about the timing, because I thought looking forward, because I've already decided in my head I would step down as a coach. I thought this was the perfect moment because it gives the next one a Nations League cycle prior to the World Cup cycle. A lot of games now, September, October, November, to prepare the team for the important games that will come the year later. So I think that is a good timing to do this. To delay it would mean that the next coach will have shorter time to prepare and change things he wants to change. So that's the first thing. Secondly, I've not felt good in the environment. There's a lot of reasons why. No disrespect to people or angry with the people in charge. Absolutely not. Of course, we have disagreements how we do things, and that's just normal. That not everybody is on the same page how to do things. So, but I haven't felt good in this environment. So when that happens and we can change the environment, you only have two choices. Either you stay for money or for the glory of taking this team to the World Cup, or you leave the environment. If you cannot change it, you only have two choices. And I decided this was my time to leave the environment.
Any other items? Any questions from here? Coach Algerson, obviously you are leaving now, but do you think there will be any plausible reasons for a way back in the future for you and your staff?
Yeah, I am taking this decision on my own. I'm not taking staff with me away from Jamaica. Everybody around me was hired by JFF. I think the goalkeeper coach was the only one that I persuaded to come. Otherwise, Meron Gordon, John Wall was, for example, hired before me. So that was not my decision of being assistant coaches. Lamar was there before Simon was hired, yes, after I came. But all the staff was hired, and not in relation to me. So and that is me going on. Sorry, I lost the track when you were asking. Is there a way back? Sorry, is there a way back?
By any chance, you will change your heart state at all?
You should never in life, you should never close doors in your life. And I really love the players. I've grown fond of a lot of people in Jamaica, and I have a lot of respect for this project. And so you should never say never, but at this moment, I don't think so.
Do you think either Coach Meron or Coach Wall can take up the reins?
Well, that's a good thing with growth and development, that you can use what has been done for the last years. Growth is not restarting everything from scratch. The growth is building on what has been done, and I think we can all agree on that. I will leave my shirt in a better place. There's a lot of data work, data analysis, files of checklists, and all kinds of stuff that now was not present when I started. And I leave this with the JFF, or this work. Now when a new coach comes in, he doesn't need to look at every player everywhere. It's all on file. What players are available, what young players are coming, what players are playing in the league in Jamaica, plus all the players that are possible, have the possibility of playing for Jamaica in the future with a passport. So all this data is available, and it's already been given by me to the JFF, and so the continuity can keep on growing. I would also say to have coaches two assistant coaches that have been working in this project, for me it would be obvious that the JFF would start to look there to see what they can get from those guys. And even Meron, before we came, was already assistant coach for the national team. So I would think that is an obvious first choice, at least first thought for the JFF, but I am not taking decisions for them. But it's really important to keep on growing and building on what we have been doing, is to use the staff that we have had, that have the knowledge and have been working in this environment for now 2 years.
Coach, any preliminary thoughts on what's next for you?
Well, for sure, I'm going to take a week without football, with my family, enjoying, and my thoughts are on this moment, maybe sometime in the future, finding an environment, a growth environment where I can learn, where I can improve, etc. But, I've always lived with the philosophy that if you push and you do well, they will always lead to something else or better. Well, if not, I am a dentist. I have a clinic in Iceland, so I can go back to dentistry, and that's not a bad job.
Coach, I'm sure you wanted to see the team succeed and to always put your best foot forward. Part of succeeding is to always have the best players available to you. There is an article circulating online today, and part of that article states that you continuously pushed to include Leon Daly in the squad for the COPA America, regardless of his stance and so on and so forth. Are you able to clarify this?
Yeah, that is not the reason for me departing some argument about the player. And that is not a reason for me to leave in a financial one, by far. So it's not about argument about players or argument about salaries or payments. So we can wipe that one out. That is just a force majeure.
A message for fans and Jamaicans across the globe?
No, keep on supporting these players. It was a little bit disappointing how few Jamaicans supported the guys, and At the same time, really a compliment to the people of Venezuela, how they supported their team tonight. It was amazing. It was a great experience to see the passion and the support they got. I know Jamaicans don't have as many people, but this group of players will go to the World Cup, and they will need support both financially and on the pitch. And Jamaicans need to stick together to see this happen, because all Jamaicans would like this team to go to the World Cup.
So, Coach, you're going to leave a legacy, of course. So, my thing was 3 players, young players, and the keys that Euro and actually. So, you believe in them, put them in the team, in the games. What do you have to say to them in terms of the future that you saw in them, why you chose to do them?
No, I think everybody that saw these players, you're forgetting Dijon Richards as well. So if a player is good enough when he is 17, 18, we should play him. He's the future. And I've also played players 35, 36.
Yeah.
If you're good enough, you should play the national team. That's my philosophy.
Right.
Young or old, but these players for sure, if they play their cards correct. You never know with young players. You never know. They might take a wrong decision and then they kind of get lost. And it has happened to a lot of players. And I hope a player like Kahim will take the correct steps in his career, not thinking financial. Now it's football growth for him, and he's a smart kid. So I know he will take correct positions. Dexter Lambekiza, I think he's not a young player anymore, even though he hasn't many years on his passport. But he's just ready. He's a good player today. The same with our goalkeepers is amazing how good goalkeepers Jamaica has. And we even had Jaden Hibbert, who went with us to Trinidad. Amazing young kid. Apparently, very strangely, he went to the same school as Blake and Jamali, so it's kind of the same project, same platform for them. So that is a position where Jamaica is really rich in. But to have young players is just something that we should protect.
And technically, do you see improvements in those 3 that I mentioned from the time we brought them in the team to where they are today?
They all had kind of different approach in the team. So Kahim got like bronze, I think in Trinidad first, with kind of domestic squad. We needed and just put Dexter Lambekiza in the game in Azteca against Mexico, and he needed to play against one of the best wingers in the world, and he just showed from day one that he was ready. So it's just different ways these guys came in the team. Karoy, we've been watching. Jamaica is a little bit lacking central midfielders playing at a high level. He was at a young age playing at a high level, so we just wanted to see how he did, and from day one he's been growing in the team. And the best thing about these kids is that they're good team players, they're good persons, and it's good to work with them and have them in the squad. They're respectful to the elders, they listen, and that's not only good players, they're good persons. Right there.
Further questions?
Coach, during the match today, it has been a continuous actions that I've been noticing or observing throughout all 3 matches. Whereas we are supposed to have veterans in the team, however, there doesn't seem to be much leadership on the pitch. Whereas there are times when players are not taking accountability for misplaced passes. I am blaming you, you're blaming me. Do you think this has been part of the issue as to why the team didn't excel or even get a result from one of the 3 matches?
I would like just to answer this question with a no. I don't think that has been the case. I think there has been accountability and responsibility in all the matches. I know this game was a little bit different because we had nothing to play for other than the pride. And of course, when you play a national team game, you always want to do your best to represent your country. But I just felt when we conceded, especially the second goal, it was difficult to go and reach some energy where they were not lacking that one in the first two games. So I wouldn't agree with what you're saying in not taking responsibility or not taking a leadership role, because a lot of these players are taking a leadership role on trainings, on meetings, and on the pitch. I think a lot of players are leading by example, and I don't think you can point at any player and say he was not trying to do his best this tournament. There will always be passes that will be misplaced, but not putting in an effort. I don't think you can point at a player and say he was not trying to do his best.
Thank you, Coach. Can I get one more, please?
Yeah.
Very tough job being the head coach of the Reggae Boyz. What's one recommendation, I'll use recommendation, that you will have to your successor?
Well, like I said, my book is open for him. I love this project, and I know this project will be successful. It might take a little time. There's a lot of players that want to join this project and help Jamaica qualify. So the future is exciting, and there will be a lot of coaches that will fight for this job. Because this is an exciting job for a coach. A lot of work has been done. My book is open. So if the next coach wants to have information or my advice, I'm a phone call away. And I will support this project. If the GFF wants me to help in any way, I'm a phone call away. Thank you, folks.
So that was Reggae Boyz coach Hogrimson talking about a number of different things, mainly about his resignation from his role of head of coach for the Jamaican national team. And he got a litany of questions on different aspects of the team. I think what was interesting, the last point he made about the job, that coaches would be fighting for the job. Isn't that a little bit ironic that you're giving up something they say others going to be fighting for, and you make it seem like it's one of the best jobs in the world, and you're leaving because you think it's toxic? I think that's a little bit contradictory, actually, which I find interesting if you just listen to it. But so when I hear your thoughts, I have a bunch of stuff that I wrote down here when I listened to this previously. And I think I hear Sean Blake saying it's speculating about why he's leaving. I'm going to go back to Sean's comment because I thought they were very interesting, actually. So here's Sean's comment. I'm going to call you out, Sean. Stan, when we add to what he said, that is the environment, that's an assumption, or we state that's fact, then it becomes a lie. Then they never said environment. He said environment, Sean, bunch of times. I'm not sure what you listened to. He said environment like 3 or 4 times throughout his little soliloquy, frankly, or his question and answer session. So he said environment. Environment only means one thing, people. It's not rocket science. So here are my thoughts on this, things I brought out. First of all, he decided to leave prior to COPA, right? He decided to leave prior to COPA. So it wasn't a situation where the COPA results affected his decision. Let me see what Oring's saying. Did the Federation want more to come in time and spend, and the money did not catch up to the type? No, I don't think that's it, Sean. How can you soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys? I'm not going to call anybody a turkey, but let me just quickly run through my points, people. He decided to leave before COPA, and it showed because he didn't do anything in COPA that made any sense to me. And frankly, he decided a few months before COPA that this wasn't for him. Now, when the first coach went to Jamaica, and I think he was surprised about what he saw. I think he was taken aback by what he saw. I don't think the perception he had of what he was going into, he had no idea what he was getting into. And you could hear him once he got interviewed. I think I may have been personal with management interviewing him, actually. He was talking about things like structure, and it sort of evolved into things, if you want to extrapolate, like professionalism, and how things are done. He talked about the infrastructure, the fields, a bunch of different things. You could, and someone asked him about the food, and most Jamaicans take offense. You don't think their food is great. He didn't say the food was great. And if you don't think the food is good, and if you don't think the food is important, it's important. You go to Jamaica, you don't like the food. It's almost as if right away, and an environment could be a combination of the physical location I'm in, the culture I'm in, the administration I'm dealing with. So I'll get to some of that. So that I thought was interesting. Yes, exactly, Jason. A few months before COPA, it could have been many months before. He probably decided the first day he got there, this is not working for me, but let me just get paid $1 million over 2 years and then go home, have someone to play with. He explained to the players his reason for resigning, but he never explained to us truly, except he did, his reason for resigning. I wonder what he told the players. Did that translate to what he mentioned in his press conference? He said the timing of his resignation allows future coach to have their imprint on the team. And that's probably true in some respects, because he can say, well, I won the World Cup qualifier games I should have won, even though the scoreline didn't reflect how well we should have played. So now for the next coach, we'll have time between now and the next World Cup qualifiers, since that's what he was hired for, to put their imprint on the team. So bless up DJ Fatal. What kind of name that's that? Change your name, man. Call it something else. Call it Fata. That bad too. But Fatal DJ, come on, DJ, man. You can do a better name than that. He's talking about relationships. He said he's not angry with people in charge. Now people listen to this, because this is like talking two-sided your mouth. However, there's disagreement. And if one cannot change the things that one has, then one has to leave the environment. Listen to that again, people. Right? He's not angry with people in charge. And when you have those situations, you have disagreement. But if you can't change things, then you have to divorce. And you hear me ask Rudolph about this, about the whole divorce situation, which is how can both parties be happy yet they're asking for divorce? So he was telling you he was not happy with the federation, and he was so bad, he had to leave. Now, you can translate environment to talk about where he lived and maybe his spouse and all that. But he's basically telling you, I don't get along with the federation. I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this. Okay, DJ. But still DJ. You can't call us a DJ awesome, or DJ rambunctious, or DJ incredulous, or DJ special, fatal. I know you probably mean fatal to your opponent, but boy, I'm not telling you that's a fatal name. He basically said also the next manager would have all necessary info on our players. So he's mentioned that I've created some professionalism in our structure in terms of the how we train people, the physical fitness component of it, the data we have, the volume or the database we have of players, not only players here, but players who have Jamaica passport or potential for passport. Let me say that again. Okay, Fatal, I hear you. He's basically saying that I've given you stuff that you can use going forward that will help the next coach, because when I came here, you didn't have it, right? And I don't think he's the one put together the database, people. I think get the database from different sources, but he's saying he had the database. I think people like, the whatever boss had databases even more, and Simon had database too. He also says his assistants, so maybe Marengo and others, should be the first way they look. But I don't think he gave them an overwhelming endorsement, frankly. I didn't think he gave them an overwhelming endorsement. He talked around it in his own Hoggermson way. He also debunked the notion that the bonus he requested as in the paper or the prodigal son situation caused him to leave, right? He debunked that. However, he did say this. I'll come to the last point I want to make. But he talked about young players. He was very complimentary of the young players, including, say, Whisper, very complimentary of Dixon. He mentioned very complimentary of Dixon and Lembakisa, mentioned Anderson and also brought Whisper into the equation. So very complimentary when it comes to the young players. And more importantly, he made it sound like they can be coached, which is imperative for young players. And he expect good things from them going forward. And extremely complimentary of the goalkeepers. Now, I pick up certain things when I go through these things. Only goalkeepers me and talk about, that come from Jamaica, because all the goalkeepers came from Jamaica apart from Boyz Clark. He was impressed with the goalkeepers. He was impressed with no local midfielder, no local defender. So take the young players out the mix, the other personnel, he didn't mention them. I picked those things up. I mean, pulling on straws, I picked those things up. The last thing he mentioned, which I think is important, and which he obviously was not happy with, and which him call out, him calling out, all I know, including yours truly. Him calling out, him said, the man said, when he had enough people, him said, no, support the players them. So I talk for him. Him say, no run off on the mouth every day. And I criticize every day. But no support nobody, no spend no money, no got no game, no support nobody. I don't know how to attack. I don't want positivity, I don't want outcome, but no do nothing to generate the outcome I'm supposed to get. That the man say. And if I want to get no feeling sometime, when I hear them things there, when I like criticize, when I like take criticism. When I can't take it, when I get, and people say Kranky, you're the same way, Kranky. Of course. Me admit to it, but if I don't know, I admit to it. When I like criticize, just like when I come in and say, I want free content from all the YouTubers, and I want to give them like, see them something. When I love things good, when I want to feel good about my soccer team, when I want soccer team to win, but I don't want to get nothing on myself to reach that. So I want to stay. And when people calling out and get Claudine getting a fear of feelings about here, you come again with him subscriber thing. She getting a fear of feelings when them thing there. I call you out Claudine, but I don't want to get nothing. I just want to take. The man say, I don't know support the players them. The man go see Ecuador play. Him see Argentina play. When play Argentina, I stayed when him first joined. Him see Venezuela player. Him see Mexico player. Him see US player. Him mention Panama, because Panama not bad like we. And all them have them fans full of the stands. And we not enough time. When him go Gold Cup, him see all the other team them have fans. Except probably us and Trinidad, the Caribbean country them. So all we run off about complain about player this and this, a boy not good and this one not good. Player them can't say no good either. Because no do nothing for me. We don't want outcome, we don't want go World Cup, we don't want so World Cup, we want beating the chest in a Jamaican. But they don't support the team. I not run off on them out. Pure talking, no action. Pure talk and no action. So when I beat people and I beat each other and I beat this and beat that, looking at the mirror. Because the mirror foggy. Because you can't see yourself. So I have to set up on that. So if you don't want to call in and make comments about it, by the way, I may take 50 more minutes at Jamaica. Then I go to track and field because I done so my thumbnail was about track and field. And a pure football I talk about for the last hour. I go to the track and field thing. If you don't want to hear the track and field, I'm sorry, but I talk about it. I'm a track and field fan. But it actually is very, I've talked about this before, it's very disappointing to see how Jamaican personnel do not support the team, but them criticize, but they not support nothing. All them do go in a chat and watch it on TV, and then want to beat up them chest when the side win. When the side lose, they want to go off and carry on. And when they play them look around nice stadium, look for support and encouragement, none. Nobody. Period. All them I see at the opposition. Venezuela, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, Brazil, Ecuador, of all countries, Ecuador come here full up stadium as well. Man, probably I'll sell them car and them shoes to come a game and I don't have money in the pocket and do nothing. Now do nothing. I don't run off on the mouth. Talk, and no action. Well, I deserve no better than what I get from the team. Because when I support the team, what the team support, all the team produce them best. Hey, you know what important is when you play a sport and you hear people are cheering at the stand and they are the 12 man that give you vibes. And now I get the team no vibes. Warren, what about Canada? A lot of people, a 1.5 game, and even that never pack enough Canada even today. It's a 1.5 game. We can't have a 1.5 game. Every game Ecuador play them full up. Venezuela full up. Mexico full up. Guatemala full up. Honduras, every game them play the stand full up of them people. Here's how bad it is, Warren. You can't make no excuse. You go Jamaica, nobody in the stadium. Yes, the last game people turn up and then get no free ticket outside or something. But frankly, in Jamaica, people never turn up for the game. You can't compare on the game from COVID all the way to the last game, much people turn that game. People now got a game. All them do attack. Newspaper critics, maybe on the newspaper people them go, because I have to write about it, and certain other YouTube bloggers, but Missy game did it where you can count on 2 and how much people stand. That type of big Reggae Boyz game. And well, we don't have enough local players in the team. Bunch of garbage. When no one going away, I just want to talk and sit down in the living room and run off on the mouth, and then no one something from them. So then enough is nothing then. Enough is nothing. But anyway, the coach said his piece. I don't think the coach was happy being here, frankly. I think there's more to some of these things than what he's saying. He was professional to the extreme, to be frank, because something can go overboard. I think he went overboard somewhat, especially about his contribution. But at the same time, he wasn't wrong on certain things. He wasn't wrong about the environment, which was created by the JFF. So JFF got called out. He praised his players, which I found interesting, actually, especially given the situation he had with one of his players. He praised his players a lot, especially the young ones. In fact, all of them. He was very supportive of the players and how well they. In fact, he mentioned, which we've got beaten around now. We've always said, "Why local versus foreigner?" We've been told that's not the case. The man mentioned him thing there. Him coalesce them, him bring them together. There's no clique. They still have cliques, I would think. Everybody have cliques, but it's a little bit different. Claudine, nonsense you chat, Claudine. Claudine, Jamaica have much more money than Ecuadorian in general, than Guatemalan in general, than Honduran in general, than probably some Mexicans in general. And though Mexicans, the last population, have enough rich people. Nonsense we chat, Claudine. I'm not for the money thing, Claudine. Jamaica game costs less than $20 to go. If you live at Kingston, you can take a taxi or take bus and go. Nonsense. It's about commitment. It's about want and doing it. Nonsense about money, Claudine. No, especially in the US, you can make the case, but that's still nonsense because the Ecuadorians come from everywhere to go a game. When the game play at Texas, California, Florida, New York, New Jersey, them find me if you go there, make plans around, they make them vacation plans around it. We don't love it. It's not a money thing. Trust me, it's not a money thing. Not a money thing. Not a money thing. Yeah, we came here with this Canada nonsense. People, Canada one little country. And even Canada, we don't sell out of Canada either. I saw the Canada thing. Yeah, there were much more fans there than any other place that we played in. But it's a low bar. A very low bar. The fans have to do better. The fans say them want to go World Cup. The fans don't deserve to go World Cup. Maybe Manning Cup, but not World Cup. They don't deserve to go. The fans do not deserve to go any World Cup. The fans, there's apathy there. The fans have done nothing to go World Cup. Ecuador fans deserve to go World Cup. Guatemala fans deserve to go World Cup. Venezuela fans deserve to go World Cup. All them fans you see, what them spend them last dime or whatever, if you spend and them find where them go in a group to go, them deserve to go World Cup. They're interested. They're supportive. They want to be there. They want them to win. All no one do is sit in a living room and run off on the mouth. That's all no one do. No one gonna World Cup. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry for telling you the truth, but the truth hurts. No one gonna World Cup. As fans, now do nothing for the World Cup. No, do nothing for most of them. I say no. People like AQ go every game, so I can't answer every single person. But it's a very small minority. Very small, teeny minority. Ask them. AQ, Errol, and them people will go out of game them. A very small minority. I'm include myself in there too. I'm not doing enough. Because me hate flying, I never really go some of the game them, but we're not doing enough as fans. We want excellence, and we want A, and we get F. We get as fans. In fact, we don't deserve F. We get ungraded, not applicable, because we're not really fans. If you're sitting in a yard, you're not a fan. You just run off your mouth. If you watch the Euro, Claudine talk about money. Claudine not joking. You talk about money, not Claudine. You watch Euro. You think people in Slovenia, them are rich people. From Slovakia are rich people. You think everybody rich? Them find ways to do it. Them plan in advance. Every team in a Euro get significant support. Most teams in COPA get significant support. The one when I get no support are Jamaica. Yes, Jason Goon. I'm one of those people like Burkham. Except I did fly to Texas. I did fly to Florida. But trust me, it's a challenge doing that. I was looking into train. I just check a train to go to Atlanta. A $1,000 for your car and a $500 for your. I've got a roommate. I'm coming to like fly that much. So maybe I forgot to do the roommate. And I one way, by the way, that people, I'm two way. You're not cheap. So I got to figure out a way. America should have a bullet train. If America have a bullet train, we got all the game them. They don't have a bullet train, Jason. If you go Japan, you go China, but them have a bullet train. America don't have a bullet train. That's my personal problem. We can't make that be a reason why we not got the game them. We can start drive about 3 days early. Yeah, but where are the football fans? A lot of football fans today, no, because I want to run off them out. So no football fans today. No football fans today. Them just not got a game. Them talk now, but them not got a game. Not got a game. So anyway, people, we're done the football talk and start track and field. But let me last point on saying this. The coach leave because people at JFF not gonna like me say this. But he leave because of JFF. Him can't agree with them. Them see things differently. That's what I interpret from it. But he was very praiseworthy. He was very lauded. He lauded a lot his players, and he lauded a lot his contribution to the program. And he was supportive and expect the team to make the World Cup, which I hope we do actually. But he was damning of the fans in his own political way. Yours truly is much more direct. He's extremely political. Him should have said the fans them useless. That's what him should have said. And if him says so, what the fans them all say? Man, him leave already. Him don't want to burn bridges. Man, not even want to burn bridges with fan. Me that burn on the house with the fan them. Me don't mind with the players them or with the administration, but burn on the house with the fan them. No, they're track fans. Them go track meet. No, Claude, them go track meet. You go New York Grand Prix. You go Penn Relays. Penn Relays up here, Jamaica, you know? An American event. It may be at University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. An American event that if you go to Penn Relays, 90% of the fans are Jamaicans. Let's say 85% are Jamaicans. It's a Jamaican event. You go. That's why Penn Relays kill a Jamaica. You know, give us our own building for ourselves to go in and go sit down. Because them know how we run it, and without them, they're not on Penn Relays. We are Penn Relays. It's a Jamaica It's a Jamaica event, even though it's held here. But we're not really football fans, as you said. Stan, chop your nonsense. Me go a game, Stan. I was in Texas. Which game you go, Sean? Sean, which game you go, Sean? Which game you go? Me go Texas. Me go Florida go watch them for the World Gold Cup. Me go Texas go watch them. Me go New York watch Guatemala. I just say I didn't go to every game because I don't like to fly. So when you pull me down, Sean, me push back on you. Me go game. Tell me which game you go, Sean. Me go Guatemala game them play up here. Me go Texas to watch them play. Me go Florida go watch them play. Tell me which game you go, Sean. Tell me which game you go. Since you are seen to be the contrarian this evening, I talk about environment. Tell me which game you go, Sean. One for you. You must go every game. I see me go every game, Sean. I don't know where you go. AQ go every game. AQ and him crew, come and meet them over Texas. And people like T go period game, them go game. As I said before, most people don't go every game. But me not think you're going on. You tell me which game come, I see you on game. So maybe me wrong, you can shut me up. You can shut me up. Yeah, we are working this, but we gotta do better. The point I'm making, Claudine, is this: not to beat people, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. The players, the kids that play for the Jamaica national team need our support. We need to give them our support. Let's figure out a way to come together, build up community. Because you know what, the football can build communities, than just outside of football. The football can engender this to occur. Because we're very disparate. We spread out. The football can help to change things. We have to use the football to change things. And it's like Sean, who seems to be just a big critic on this one, criticize, and I add no value, but I criticize. And Sean, if you take it personal, I don't care. So I stay, I don't care. I talk my mind, so I stay. So we talk track and field people before Sean get me run out of the place. No run left me because me and Sean argue. So let me say this. So I did put up a thumbnail, which I got criticized for yesterday. And I want to apologize for those who came to hear me talk some track and field, and I didn't because the football, as usual, took over. So I changed it. So I want to talk about the men's 100 meters. The men's 100 meters and what I would consider the pre-race favorites for the upcoming Olympics. Now, since Bolt retired, we have struggled from the men's standpoint. I don't want to talk about the women then because they're another time. As we get closer, I say I'm going to do Olympics. So as we get closer to Olympics, we'll talk more about this. But for the men, we were all sitting back saying, boy, since Bolt left, things rough. Because the women been carrying us, since Bolt left, Shelly and Sharika and Elena Carraway. We can't talk about the man them at all. 100, 200, oblique show some spark, but you never get on the podium. And we struggle. 110 meter hurdles, yes. We have the broad bell and the parchment of the world. So we can't say every man, but the premier event, which is 100 and 200, and to less extent 400, even though Watson won the other day, we struggle. 100 is the premier event. When you think about anything, nobody tell you nothing. 100 meters for both men and women. And in fact, we moved the needle, you know, because I used to men, you know, between us and just the lack of what I call exceptional talent in the men's field until Noah came along, moved the needle, right? The women them change the sport. Shelly and Elian dominate, and you have, you know, Sharika come on later, and then Shakari from the US side. So we have won the last 4 Olympics on the women's side. So we have that lockdown, right? Which may change this year, give more Sharika a run, the 100, and then we see Gabby at 200. But then for the men's side, since both left, you know, at one point now, we got London 2012 now people. We're both Blake, 1, 2, 3, right? Run things off, and then 4x1 world record. When I stayed on my Jamaica, and you run things, you know. Everybody want to decide you, everybody want to take picture with you. So you run things. But after both leave, Blake losing farm, 1 or 2 people saying nothing go well. And then, you know, this year we said, boy, wait. Oblique run against Noah. Well, Oblique with the run championship, I should say. He ran well, come fourth. Probably need a little bit of better start. And then we see him run against Noah at the stadium and walks Noah. Noah come with about 10 different excuses. Except to say, you know what? Congratulations. You beat me. I'll try to beat you next time. That's all you have to say when you lose, you know. We don't want you about what you're doing in your bedroom or what food you eat or anything else. Nonsense you talk. Nonsense you talk. You get beaten by a better person on that day. Just give credit to Noah. Because you affect your legacy and you affect how people perceive you, know, when you make excuses for you lose. You run well. And here's why you lose Noah. Because you know, think you're going to go through the stats people. So this is Ferdinand, the Kenyan, who and by the way, people is I know everybody say Omanyala. I mean, sometimes call people by them first name, right? He's a Kenyan. These are his times actually. And they do it I have it by times here in terms of sequence, not necessarily by dates. So you can see his dates here. Yeah, Noah is living in fear. He should live in fear. He has a reason to be fearful. You have 2 people with fear, actually. So if you look at the times here for him, if you look at in 21, his times are not, you're going to see something interesting with his times, people. So his times fluctuate, right? These are some of the best times he runs. So he run like a 985, 986 in 21. But then you see in 22, he ran a 985. 21, he ran a 977, even though the 977 and the 979 and the 984 were all run in Africa at sort of high altitude, in a sense, actually. Right? The all Nairobi for the 985, 984, 977, 979. So anything on a 98 is run in Africa. High altitude, probably faster track. If you look at the other times here, though, they're still pretty good. 994 to 985. And they were running different places, right? Some are still Nairobi. So most of the fast times he's run is in Nairobi, Kenya. And it's a fast track. We see that when Shelly and go run over there, not too long ago, when other people run, it's a really fast track. Doesn't mean he's not quick, right? Because he's running on a 10 in, you know, Montreal and different places. He's running on a 10. Australia run 986. But that was in 21. In 24, you can see all the times he has here. So he hasn't had times that are really fast outside of Kenya most of the time. At least he did one in the US in 2025. His time fluctuate. I'm going to show you that for a reason, people. So it's not like he's running time where he's always going downwards in his time. They go different places, depending on the location and the date and the year. And he's one of the favorites. Let's be honest, he's one of the favorites. He's run the 9.7s. And we got to think about this. Of all the 4 people in the favorites here, so the 4 I have here is Omanyala, Noah, Oblique, and the new sensation, Kishane, right? Those are the 4 I have. And you can see here, Omanyala's run a lot of good times. And you see on my thumbnail, I have, you know, I say he's chopped liver because everybody seems to forget that he's also a runner. But because he hasn't produced on the biggest stage, he doesn't get the same sort of love and notoriety, right? So we'll see how that goes. But that's Omanyala actually. We'll see how that goes and how he runs. Now, if we do, let me pull up another one. Let me stop sharing and do this again. I'm gonna pull up another runner. So that was Omanyala, who is actually pretty good. Times are good. Really good look for him actually. So this is Oblique Seville. I'm saving the two best for last. It's Oblique Seville. Now you look at Oblique's time actually between his best time 22, 23, 24, all in the most 9/8 people. 2 9/9s, one in Europe, one in Eugene, but an unfortunate one in Eugene, frankly. But you can see, take out the 60-meter one, 9/8, 9/82. The reason why this is important is this: he hasn't run lower than 9/8 actually, which is very important to think about who will win at the Olympics. Location matters, track matters, food matters, how you feel matters. But he hasn't ran below 9/8. But he's very consistent. Very consistent. Yes, Drew Ross. We agree he hasn't showed up when it matters. And that's why people are discounting him. But he's still very, very quick and could be a surprise, actually. But Oblique seems to be running out, and Mills is doing a good job with him into form at the right time, in the right place. Because he's in the consistent mid 9/8s or low 9/8s, right? If you look at 2024 time, 9/82, 9/82, right? Really, really good time. 9/82, 9/83, 9/82, low 9/8s. Which is really, really good, meaning he's done with the 10s, the 9/9s, and he's a 9/8 territory. He's playing in the 9/8 territory, which is really good, which is where you want to be. But if he wants to win anything at the Olympics, you have to find another gear for lower that. So this is Oblique. Really, really good. Good place to be. Looks good, and hopefully he continues. But Oblique, if you need to go gym, put on a little more muscle, what you need to do, get a little extra speed, because your start is very good. Uplift is good, your start is good, your knee lift is good, your deceleration is good. You decelerate less than some other people, like a Coleman, for example. But you need something else. If you want to win the 100 Olympics, you need something else. There's some other people like Ben Eric, who are good enough. Or even some other people, but I think it's between the four I just mentioned. So that is Oblique, who is really in a good place, actually. So now we go to Noah. We go to Noah now, actually. And here's why I think Noah can't be Kishian unless he can go up on something. So this is Noah. Now look what Noah times, people. Him have 2:98.3, which are more recent. Eugene is a very fast track. And I've known 3 at Budapest, which I think is also fast. But in the mid-9 range, 9:85, 9:85, 9:87. Look at Noah's time. From all the way from 2016, I show him best time, right? He might go down from 9:9, 9:89, 9:88. He might go lower, because I think him start to get better and better. Because Noah thing is about, him finish, and deceleration is great, right? And him stronger, kind of really a 200-meter runner, who like a boat, they transition to the 100. But times are good. But Noah has never run under 9:80. In a run no 9:7. In a reach 9:7 territory, people. In a reach 9:7, which is interesting, right? So he might do 9 in time fluctuate a little bit too. If you look at his time here, so September 23 run 9:85, August 23 9:87, October 9:83. So time fluctuates a bit. It doesn't have the June time here that he ran, I think it was 9:83 when he ran against Oblique. I think he ran, what was it, 9:85 in Jamaica? Sorry, here it's June 1, the one right here. He ran 9:85 in Jamaica when Oblique beat him, right? So, but his time is mid-80s, is mid-8s, 9:85 region. I'm not sure if Noah can get to 9:79, 9:80. Okay, if him do, if he's going to pick for do that, because he started to improve quite a bit over time. So I'm not sure he can get to that 9:7. Right? But he and Oblique are pretty close. I think if Oblique gets up, Oblique will always get up before him, That's another thing too. He always gets up a little bit slower, and the momentum, acceleration, get up to a point, and in deceleration much slower than everybody else, so him end up pulling away at the end. Oblique said I have him a little bit. I think Oblique can beat Noah. Definitely. But the new king of the hill people. All the talking we are talk. I'm showing us something, which is that's why you hear some people now question whether or not Kishian thing is legit. So this is Kishian people. And this is actually date sequential versus all the others. So you see all the others fluctuate. They have some time in 2018, 2019, them best times. They're running longer, frankly. But look on Kishian's numbers versus even Oblique a little bit. Oblique has been very consistent. It go from 9999 990 down to 986, 987, 983, 985. Very consistent Oblique is. So I'm not sure Oblique can do really better because when you reach us, I'm still young, but I'm not sure he can do much better than he is. I'm not sure if he has a 9.7 number. Noah has improved over time, but Noah may also have reached his zenith. But look at Kishian numbers, people. He might go from 1021 to 1004 to 99, 991, 987, 90. Everything, every time the man run at some event, people, he take off some time. Now, someone challenged the other day, I was listening to Minzy. I think the person named Everywhere Track or something was questioning whether or not, how can anybody take so much time off their, how can you take so much, they're not seconds, like half a second, quarter second off your time in such a short period of time, right? Because he's going from 1021 to 977 in 2 years, basically. Right? That's a lot to take off. That's taking off about what, half a second? Think about it, 21 and 23. That's about half a second, isn't it? Half your time. That's enough to take off, frankly. No, Claudia, I'm not discounting Les Mills, But here's what's interesting about the race. So just finish on shipping and I come to your comment, Claudine. Kishian, why the way I run, if you continue, him look unbeatable. Now it's early people. And we always see them thinking, and him injury prone. Because last time we see him run, he go run 991 was last year and the man just disappear. So when finally try to hide him for bring him out for Olympics, because Fan always said, don't think count Olympics. I think World Championship not count, the Olympics count. And Olympics we make your money. And Fan and the money thing. But 977 a different territory in Jamaica, people. Kind of like everyone in Kenya, in a high altitude, I everyone in Eugene, Oregon, where them track that fast. Jamaica track is pretty decent, but it's not like them track there. If you're on 977, a different territory, and you think, people, he looked across about 10 to 8 meters out at the scoreboard, at the time board when I run. And like him run straight through the tape. Like how Boyz do when you know him, when him look across and him do all sort of stuff. Him run past Oblique and looking at Oblique, run past Oblique, and then look on the scoreboard. So him probably could do 9.45, 9.55, 9.5 to me easily. If him run straight to the tape and just focus and look across. You see him look across the other day, see Parchment do the same thing. I say Parchment losing race against Broadbell. If him just go straight, him win the race. So at the end of the day, people, things look good for Kishian. And why I'm very happy is that I'm tired. You said 969. That's possible, right? Competition can force you. Competition can also kill you, because you see what happened to Gatlin when he ran against Bolt. When he was to win the race. I think which race was it? A World Championship race and him tie up because him get nervous, him feel pressure on his shoulder. Kishian not put pressure on your shoulder, but also pressure bust pipe, because if you don't get a good start in the race, you're done. But the runners we have now, if you don't get a good start, for this 4, plus we have about Curly and Bernadette and Jacobs, we have a bunch of other runners that are there. You're nothing about Tobago. We have enough people out there who, are big time runners. It's going to be hard. The 100 meters men, which I think fell off when Jacobs win, but it's back in the play. It's back in play. And Noah, same win 4 gold medal. First of all, I never make him run no 4x4, but I don't think that happen. I'm going to see how win the 100. You have a good chance to win it, because Oblique beat you and Kishian time better than you have a chance. But if Kishian maintained it, everything's straight up with Kishian and he maintained these people, it's more hard to beat. Because the thing about it is you watch him race, him just look physical, him look like a beast coming on the track. Yeah, he was questioning whether the person is on substance, right? Let's be honest. That's what Everywhere Track was doing. People, so I almost close to the end of the program. 7-1 watching 63 lights. At one time, can we watch this every minute? 50 was 55-50 in favor of likes. Come, people, do better. He was basically questioning whether or not it was legitimate, but not the runner where Kishian was taking something, because he couldn't understand the significant improvement in time. And frankly, people, if we saw that with some foreign runner, we probably would question it too. It's a fair question. It's hard to take half a second of your time. And personally, people, Kishian is like a lane, When I remember Kishian on champs. I remember Kishian make no final of champs, frankly. I mean, I watch champs almost every year. But I did it, I watch it remotely. I remember Kishian make no final. I remember go Garv Masia. I remember make no final of champs. I can't remember Lane make no final of champs. And Lane was deemed to be legit, and hopefully Kishian is the same way. Yeah, Jason, 100 meter, big race this time. Big race. It's gonna create a lot of excitement, right? Because now I beat him chess, and people enough people. I'm telling these people, for most countries at the Olympics, if their runners are not running or winning, they want a Jamaican athlete to run. Not debatable. They want a Jamaican athlete to win. They love Jamaica. We're looking at Talawa. They love how we perform. They love our vibes. And especially they don't want America to win. So it's always between us and America when it comes to the sprint. They don't want America to win. Right? No, I haven't watched a Netflix series. No, I haven't done that. Well, yeah, I mean, everybody should have. No, he's not a Safa. The way he runs like I own this track. He doesn't run like somebody he runs like, you know what? I think Fana's done a good job with him saying nobody can beat you. You're the fastest man on the planet. You know this. We know this. The way he ran by Oblique in that race. You go back and watch the race, people. It's like Oblique had no chance, and Oblique can run at 9/8. Right? It's like Oblique had no chance. If you watch that race, you realize that he ran, even though he didn't beat Oblique by a big margin, he won the race easily. Which sounds strange and sounds contradictory, but he did. Yes, Zena, they did say about Bolt, and Bolt passed every test. Look, that's how America is, right? And we saw what happened with Coleman when he then can't find him for the test. We saw what happened with Knight more recently when he meet Oxteal or Corey Good. But no, I mean, them say Oxteal. Them always have excuse for them do. And them always have point out things to other people. 9.5, hey, there's a big difference between 9.7 and 9.5, you know. Big difference. It may not seem that way, but a big difference. Look, when you take off half a second in the last 2 years, and people have said that's huge. When you're reaching a 9.7 range, even though it may look impressive, because enough people run 9.7, you know. But getting below 9.7 is a big deal. And boy could have run faster than 9.59, so it's possible. It's possible. I think only 200 meter record I saw Bolt run through the tape, actually. Yeah, I think so too, Jason. So if he gets, when he's a good size, you know, Minzy Temi is not as big as he looks on TV. He said, more Asafa size, not bigger than Asafa to me. He's not both size, but he looks big to me. And I always find bigger athletes, apart from maybe, what's his name that run hurdles? It's escaping me now. Who always seem to get a Holloway. Apart from Holloway, there's very few big athletes you see with that size who get that jump at the start. The more smaller athletes like Shelly and even Brianna Williams fly out the block, right? It takes less time for them to get up to speed. Holloway is an exception to the norm, even though his deceleration is sometimes significant, the speed of deceleration. But Shane gets up well. And if he gets up with the entire field and give his top end speed, I think it's going to be real hard to beat him, actually. Yeah, and the J3A went to Kishane's house at 1 o'clock in the morning after him race, go test him. And that's why I think Fana was saying he may not be able to run a certain time. Wait, people, him run 9.77, and apparently he wasn't trying to run 9.77. And what people don't realize sometimes is people is this, that sometimes coaches do time trials and then practice, you know. So they'll have an idea of how quick the person can run. Right? Definitely. Oh, Sean, why Sean have these? So Sean can make these blanket statements and then he might qualify certain statements. Understand, Sean? Sometimes you make these statements so like it's a no-brainer and then you qualify the thing. Well, I haven't understand you. But anyway, Sean is saying only a madman thing. I mean, I put my own words, I paraphrase you. Kishi Nanga win unless he hurt. And he might go into some different territory. No, look, the way he's running, the way he ran, he looks really difficult to beat, actually. I think Tobago had some problems in his trials, actually. Both even Talu and other people in that region. There were some issues in Africa about the trials. When I hear nothing about Tobago to me had the potential to be as good as any runner I've seen in a long, long time, actually. The times he was running as a junior, at the junior level, on the 20 level, Tobago. But, sometimes, as we see, we are experts on young athletes not getting to world-class level. If you got champs, Alaway got champs for years. We have runners that run world-class time, and then them time just fade off, right? If you look at Tia and Tina, for example, Tina was a dominant one, Tina, the one who won under 20, 1 and 2. I heard Tina is injured, and how it is, but Tia was always an afterthought. I know Tia run 10.8.6 and I run 10.8, 10.9, 10.8. So Tia look and Tia strong. And I think by Olympics time, Tia is going to be even better than she is now. So I hope that's the case. And I hope she's in the medal. The women, we're going to talk about the women another time, next week, people. Not talk about the women today. Today, a man's there. But so what are your thoughts, people? Who are you picking to win? Is everyone on board about Kishane winning the 100? Or you think Noah can win it? You think it's Kishane? Is it Noah? Is it Omanyala? Is it Oblique? Is it Tobago? Is it Curly? Is it someone else? Who do you think? I think it puts the Olympic in a really good place. If you're Olympic organizers, you're just licking it. You're just saying, I'm gonna increase the fees I charge sponsors. Bless up Asian or Asian. You haven't told me how to pronounce your name, Sean is here. Mr. Sean, how you doing? Uh-oh. Sean, did you hang up? I clicked on it. I'm not sure what happened, Sean. Oh, he's back. Good night. Good night. Good night, Sean. Sean, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. I think everyone can hear you too. You're loud and clear.
Oh, okay. So, are you Stan Kranky? Because
no, I'm not Stan. Stan is gone. I've got rid of Stan. It's all just Kranky now. No Stan. I don't want anybody to say I'm copywriting a name. So that's why I got rid of Stan Kranky, and that's why I changed it to Kranky. Because I like the sound of it.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, but look, I think right now the top athletes and coaches in the world kind of have the purview that, look, unless this youth is hurt or him false start or him don't show up, that they are competing for the silver medal. It doesn't take a guru. Bolt was exceptional for a number of reasons. One, he was fast. He had the speed. And two, he was a physical specimen, meaning you don't normally see 6'4" athletes sprinting. So those two things, he had the speed, twitch, and fiber that you normally find with a shorter athlete, and God just add that pan an athlete that was 6'4" or 6'3", whatever Bolt is. So that is why Bolt was exceptional. Kishane is kind of the same way because he's not a prototypical sprinter. You don't find sprinters built like an NFL linebacker. Like, that doesn't happen. So when you add those two things again, the speed and the physicality, and you can add something that Bolt did not have. You can say Asafa had it. You can say Tyson Gay had it, but he has it even more than everybody else. He's powerful. His power is off the charts. He said, I think it was in the heats, right? He said he was trying to slow it down, and he couldn't control his speed, so he almost fell. So that's how powerful he is. An average 100-meter sprinter can accelerate to 60 and shut it down. When do you ever hear an athlete say they have problems controlling their speed and shutting it down to the point to where they are almost falling? In fact, my advice to him and Frano would be that, listen, boss, don't shut down anything. It better you just run the race at an average pace, and if you're aiming for 9.9, you run the race from start to end at a 9.9 pace or 10.0 pace. Because if he is that powerful to where he's gonna get up to 60, and when him try to shut it down, he's falling over, that can kind of create some injuries as well that you might not see immediately in that race. But if he's that powerful, it has the potential to create injuries. So for an injury-prone athlete, I wouldn't advise him to run 60 and then shut it down. But Stan, listen, the top athletes and coaches in the world right now are educated enough, have seen enough athletes and have seen enough of these races to know that unless they know that they have a 9.6 in at the tank, they know that they are competing for a silver medal. Any athlete out there right now, as of today, any athlete out there, any coach out there, unless they know that they are working on a 9.6, they know that they are competing for a silver medal. No, they're not going to admit it. They are going to do, in some cases, they might even try to prepare themselves mentally and say, no, I can't do it, Ray. But Stan, that is a 9.6 loading easily.
So Sean, I have a question for you. Amen is saying, everyone is ignoring Kishane have only ran rounds once and has never been on this big stage. I think Oblique will win, she says.
So I'm going to say that. All right, so let's go back to the coach. I heard you mention that he ran last year. Him run whatever he ran last year. He ran that in the semifinals and did not show up in the heats.
I think he ran 9.91 or something like that last year.
Yeah. Do you know why?
I think there was always some concern about injuries. I don't think they explained why, but the thing was people thought he was injured.
Okay, so based on what I heard, it was a concern that he cannot handle the rounds.
Right.
I don't know if it's because he was injured previously and him don't have enough base training, so him can't handle the rounds. So Frana just make him run a one race. I think with Frana's expertise, putting him on the big stage, I think if he goes through the rounds, he is going to run a 9.6 easily. And he's proven now that he addressed the big concern last year. I mean, forget about the injuries, because none of we can really predict that unless we are psychic. But as far as the rounds and going through the rounds, he has now proven that he can go through 3 rounds and run fast times through each round. So unless all these athletes and their coaches know that they have a 9.6 loading, I don't see how this youth don't run 9.6.
But he was only pushed in the final, right? Because at the Olympics, he's going to be pushed in the semifinal and the final.
Okay.
At a minimum, because we haven't talked about the Bernadette and the Tobogos of the world yet. We just talked about the top 4, and you need to be in the top 4 if it's 2 semifinal. So you're going to have other runners up there who are running really well, actually. So he'll be pushed to run fast in the semis at a minimum if he gets there. And the question has also been action. A couple of questions. One is about rounds. Two about how do you maintain composure when you know you're at the Olympics? It's a big event. He hasn't gone through this yet. What's your view on that?
So let's talk about the rounds and him being pushed. If he goes to the Olympics and duplicates the times that he ran at trials, he's going to go through the rounds and more than likely he's going to win the gold. He doesn't even have to improve on his times. The same times he ran in the semis, If he runs that in the semis at the Olympics, he's going to make the finals. If he goes to the Olympic final and he runs the 9.77, he is going to win that medal with the 9.77, because I don't see Noah Lyles running faster than a 9.77.
No, I never ran 9.7. Not that I can recall. So
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I'm saying I don't. So even with the added pressure or the increase in competition, if he just goes to the Olympics and duplicate his performance, he's going to win. And plus, what we saw at the trials was only based on what I heard him say, and I tell him, coach, say, hey, you know, only run 60 meters and shut it down. Because I think there was a concern on his part that he might have not followed the coach's instructions, because Frana's instruction was to just run 60 meters. So I think part of his concern was, look, I forgot to tell Frana, make Frana know, say, I only 60 my run. And when he walked directly from the track and went to Stadium East and saw the coach, that's one of the first things that he said, like, look, more make it clear, boss, like, I only ran 60. So Stan, this youth only ran 60 meters and is looking across and is running 9.77. I don't see how that doesn't translate later down the road to a 9.6. Plus, additionally, Frana said that, and we need Frana to qualify this, said that he only started training in March. Now, what I think that means is that he only started traditional track and field training in March, meaning he might have been doing, I don't know, he has some type of injury, and I heard they got some type of machine or something or whatever, but prior to March, he wasn't doing. This is not the word that Frana used. Frana said him never did a train, but the way I interpret it is that he wasn't doing the traditional track and field training due to his injuries. That's why one of the things that Francis said is that later down the road, you can expect a lot more, because with time, it's going to come, you know, more. It's just going to give him more time to improve over time. So I don't see how, unless him fast start, unless him hurt, unless him don't show up, I don't see how he shows up. And
but Sean,
finals.
Isn't the same like for Asafa, where our expectation probably kill Asafa?
Well, wait. You say our expectations?
Yes.
No, and our expectation did kill Asafa. Is no, sir. No, sir.
What hey,
no,
it can become very psychological
no,
when the fans are pressure you, you know.
Listen.
Eh?
I
see, Sean, you see how quick we observe ourselves, Sean. It's how quick we observe ourselves. We say, no. I know we, Asafa. We don't take no culpability in this situation. None.
Yes, it's him. It's not us. It's him. It's him. It's not us. I know we.
No, but I'm saying, don't we put so much pressure?
Asafa. It's him.
But don't we put so much pressure on that he feel the pressure?
Stan, you know what make great athletes apart from genetics? You know what makes a great athlete? It's not a rhetorical question. Mark, kind of why you forget.
No. You're gonna say it's mental, right? You're gonna say it's mental. That's what you're gonna say. You're gonna say it's what the thoughts are. What's in the brain? Is can they at the time of the event, given their capability, execute?
Yeah.
Based on how they train, based on how they've been taught, based on how they operate, and sometimes nerves get the better of you. And you can't, or things get into your head, you can't, right? But having said that, we put pressure on our athletes, especially track and field athletes. We pressure them because you know what I say? If Kishin I read them things and you news, him can't lose. So he might go in the race thinking me have to win. When I say boy him come second, we not run a race at Olympics yet. In a race at World Championship, we say you can't lose. You have to win.
Stan,
yeah.
Listen, that is what separates the average athlete from the great ones. That is why you have Michael Jordan and you have, hold on, who can I compare to Michael Jordan? That's why you have Michael Jordan-esque type of athletes, the ability to handle the mental pressure. It's not just, about training and biology and if you have fast twitch or not. No, it's not. So let me quantify my statements because I've said a lot. If he remains healthy, if he shows up, if he gets through the rounds, and if he has the ability to handle the mental stimulus, I don't see how this youth don't run 9.6. In fact, I really want to say he's going to run a 9.5.
Why don't we just say 9? Why don't we just say 9 flat and then? Why just say 9 flat? Why just say 9 flat?
No.
I mean, but the pressure is ridiculous.
Right, Stan.
Me don't want to support. Me don't want to support me them way because people run at them skin.
Stan, you think? Wait. You think of the support you should be concerned about? When we beat you.
No. We can't beat. I support because this beat you can respond to, but support is supposed to be something that you embrace. So when you support, you don't want to let them down. That's what the pressure coming in. Okay, if I fight, a different story. Just let off energy. Me I give back as good as me get. But when you support me, I have to embrace it. I have to make sure me don't let you down. That's pressure. Cause I don't want you feel. Me don't want you feel disappointed. Me don't want to feel you. If me and you fight, it don't matter. If you beat me, I beat you back. In fact, I make it worse. But if it's where you're supporting me and failure is gonna occur, or I may fail, the pressure is gonna be immense.
That's the mark of a good athlete. That's why you have Michael Jordan and you have the number 1 pick, Kwame Brown, that Michael Jordan drafted when he went to, where was that? Was that the Wizards, right?
He went. Handle. He was the Wizards, yeah.
Yeah, that's the ability to handle the pressure. Asafa is physically a better athlete than Usain Bolt. Nobody can tell me nothing. We all have our opinions. In my opinion, Asafa Powell is I don't think God could have made, well, I'm not bring God in at this car. No, listen.
No, Sean, I'm going to stop you right there. No, Sean, there are levels to this thing, Sean. There's levels.
Okay.
And Asafa is a brilliant runner. He's not Usain Bolt. There's only one Usain Bolt. Now, Kishane may suggest, based on preliminary evidence, that he has potential to get to a certain level. There's only one Usain Bolt. Ask Gatlin, ask Asafa, ask all of them who run during Usain's time. There's only one Usain Bolt.
Stan, I'm talking about if we had to build a prototypical sprinter as far as
possibly
form and technique, it doesn't get any better than Asafa Powell. But to bring us back to the point, it's not just about the speed and being the physical specimen. It's how you handle the outside stimulus, pressure.
Yeah.
Them say pressure bust pipe. So if this youth can show up and go through the rounds and him not hurt and him can handle the pressure, right now, I think right now at this point in time, he can run a 9.69, if not a 9.71, somewhere between a 9.69 and a 9.71. And I don't think that any of the athletes in the world right now have a 9.7 in them at this point in time.
Well, Omanyala's run 9.7 this year, 9.719. But it's in Kenya. It's in Africa.
With all due respect, unless the Olympics are being held on the continent of Africa, I'm not concerned. Okay. And with him, we don't know what it is, if it's just the high altitude. So it's everywhere he competes in Africa, high altitude. So we don't know.
No, a lot of it's in Nairobi.
It's a mental thing.
No, a lot of it's in Nairobi, Kenya. A lot of it's in Nairobi, Kenya. And that's pretty fast track he's running on. So most of his best times, the 9.7 times, is in Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not concerned about his performances. I don't even think if he runs in Nairobi at his best that he can run a 9.69. I don't think so, and that's on a fast track like in altitude. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents regarding
all right, Sean, I appreciate your perspective. And you can drop this down. But I appreciate your perspective.
Okay, all right, cool.
The only person we can't stand at Duckland. Thank you. Thanks,
Right.
thanks, Sean. Hey, Duckland. You know, so we have the mic for my channel, right? Duckland says, you want to fight me, Duckland. We can't come fight in the Duckland. Because Duckland, let me tell you something. And me and my Navy have this. Me give as good as me get in the Duckland. Me I tell you from now, I may have good comebacks. Me one of the comeback people, me pat myself in the back and say, me a comeback king. So when you come hard, me come look a bit harder. Trust me. Practice the comeback thing. But anyway, people, we're almost at that time. I appreciate you being here. A.M. Henry, Claudine. My female numbers are going up. So I hope they continue to go up, actually, because I love to have females in the chat, giving their perspective, the ones who love sport. I just want to have a conversation. And especially when I have my next channel, which should come out in about, I said 2 months, but them thing enough work in them. I didn't even want to do it, but I'm going to try to do it still, about 3 months. When I talk about life in general, not just sports, I expect to have the ratio to be even higher for the female demographics and female population than the male population. Because enough of them just want to talk sport. I mean, I just like talk sport, but I talk life, you know, investing, relationships, politics, criminal justice, housing, all them thing there. You know, now them have the British election with Labour, they want to beat up the Conservative. Me want to talk about them thing there. Biden saying if he go sleep more, for a man go in bed, go sleep, period, but he want to go sleep more, can I work too late. You ever see them nonsense there? But the man come out of the race star, you make the look of madman win the election. You can't, when you reach to something you can't talk and you can't turn, you're done. Sorry, people, I digress, but I was a digress. It's a joke. You're old. Time to give it up. Give some younger people the mantle. You know, give it to the gentleman from California. I'll give it to Gretchen from Michigan. Give it to somebody who can handle it. But give it up. It's very annoying. This is the Biden try to justify why I'm to be president. You know, no, your time done, my youth. And the fact of the matter is, Biden, what you're doing, you're selfish like, what's your name there? Oh, the Supreme Court Justice. Name will come to me. Selfish. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Selfish people. So when you get old, that's why Trump have so much people in the Supreme Court now, which I'm a rogue organization now. So them think they want to talk about people, them think they want to talk about enough. I love my sports, but them think they want to talk about. Want to talk about life in general. Enough things. Or we operate as people, if we do better, or if we organize ourselves. We want to talk about them things there. So anyway, we'll do that. It is, Ginsburg Jason. Selfish, bad. We love Ruth, but Ruth ain't selfish. Bad. Ruth retire from a long time. Make Obama put somebody in our seat, so you can have another person with an ideology. But me have, on the bench, not them look at PPR. But don't go 63 majority, and them not, them, you know, and them all live forever. Enough of them young. And the worst thing about it. Why not Kamala? Kyle. You reach a quota already, my Kyle. You know, realize already? Kyle, you reach a quota already. So Juras, I say hell no. Juras, me not say hell no for the reason we say hell no. I'm saying the quota has been met. Okay? You know, I'll do it again. They meet them quota with a very eloquent president who didn't do much, by the way. Name Obama. I think Biden did more than Obama for certain persuasions. That's another story. Anyway, Gunners Boss. I'm close at the evening. Gunners Boss. The evening over, Gunners Boss. The evening over. I'm not taking my car. And that sounds terrible, but at 8 o'clock, I'm tired, want to sleep. Come like a Biden. At nighttime, Gunners Boss, I very apologize. I'm sorry, but I'm not taking my coffee evening. Is tour show. And besides, must see the tour. Gunners Boss will talk on Monday. I apologize. Forgive me, please. People, may I say good night. Cause like Biden, we need to get me nap. So we can. We need to get me nap so we can function tomorrow. Biden can't take all nap he want to take. He can do day nap, night nap, afternoon nap. It not gonna help him. Any nap he might take, people. He probably need some nappy. That's what I need. But he might take nap. A nappy the man need. Me if he beat old people, because me I get seen myself. But a joke thing the man I go on with. All right. But anyway, Monday, people, I am back. Gunners Boss, Shivers Gunners Boss. I apologize. I do have to go. I have an obligation at 8 o'clock. People, thanks for being here. Kyle, Claudine, Amy, Gunners Boss, Gunners Boss, not listening. I can stand there. Drew Ross, everyone, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. On your way out, hit the like button. Tell your friends, family to join me on Monday. We'll have a good show. By the way, people, I've been asking you to send me things you want to talk about outside of not outside of sports, and you haven't done so. So, people, I'm going out. I'm gonna tell you good night. Bless up. Good night, people. Kranky Live is the best to be now. For the best sports talk and it's free, yo. Kranky Live will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky Live, tell them. Kranky Live, heed them. Kranky Live, want them. Kranky Live. From the coast to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky Live, tell them. Kranky Live, heed them. Kranky Live, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky Live, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky Live, give me my Kranky Live. I want my Kranky Live. Must have my Kranky Live. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky Live. Tell them, Kranky Live. Heed them, Kranky Live. Want them, Kranky Live. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky Live. Me say fi heed them Kranky Live. On them Kranky Live. Kranky Live will be around. Kranky Live is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Heed them, want them, heed them. Want them, Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Kranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them.